Scientists trying to understand the nature of time have only managed to go back as far as the beginning of the universe, the Big Bang. At that moment, everything that has happened is happening and will happen existed. Time is not a linear line, it's a cycle. It's a guide in the soul's development process. The flow of time is also a flow in one's inner world. The only real time we have is now. And it is an opportunity, a reflection and manifestation area for getting closer to the Creator, for remembering and connecting. Therefore, time is an illusion. The important thing is to realize that every moment is a manifestation of God. This entire process finds its meaning only with the existence of a person who can perceive and make sense of it. Hello everyone, today I'd like to talk about a concept that's at the center of our lives, but one we don't think about enough: time. It's the building block that shapes our daily life, stores our memories, and forms our dreams for the future. But beyond all these worldly boundaries, time carries much deeper, more complex meanings. So let's now think about time from many different perspectives: scientifically, philosophically, spiritually, and metaphysically. The first things that come to mind are usually clocks, calendars, and our daily rituals. Time, beyond being a scientific, spiritual, or metaphysical concept, is one of the most important elements of our daily life. We organize our daily tasks, relationships, and even thoughts around it. In a life where time plays such a central role, we often forget how valuable it is. Because it is an irreversible resource, every moment we spend flows by, never to return. That's why how we use it is of great importance. Using time consciously, living in the moment, and acting with awareness of each moment will make our life more meaningful. Wasting time, on the other hand, is an irrevocable loss. That's why using time efficiently is necessary for both success and a peaceful life. Understanding the meaning of every moment and appreciating its value turns a person into a more conscious being. It helps us achieve spiritual growth, improve our quality of life, and find balance and peace. When time is so valuable and at the center of our lives, how well have we understood it? How much of its mysteries have we deciphered? To what extent have we grasped its true meaning and reality? Measuring time has been one of the oldest and most fundamental pursuits in human history. Until Albert Einstein's theory of relativity and the concept of time's relativity proposed in 1905, it was believed in classical physics, according to Newtonian perspective, that time was absolute and independent. In other words, it was thought that time was an absolute framework, advancing at the same speed throughout the universe. It operates uniformly everywhere in the universe, moves independently, and orders sequences of events. However, Einstein's theory of relativity brought a new perspective to the concept of time. The special theory of relativity showed that time is not absolute. On the contrary, it is relative. According to this theory, time can flow at different rates depending on the speed of an observer. For example, time slows down for an object moving at speeds close to the speed of light. According to the general theory of relativity, time is affected by factors like gravitational pull and speed of motion. Near large masses, time moves slower. For instance, time moves slower near the Earth's center, but faster at the top of a high mountain. Time curves in relation to mass and energy. It is not fixed and absolute, but instead it is relative. However, the scientific understanding of time cannot fully explain its effects on human psychology. For example, waiting for an hour can feel much longer than an hour spent in enjoyable conversation. This situation shows that time is a subjective experience that changes according to our feelings and state. In modern physics, time is accepted as a fourth dimension, in addition to the three dimensions of space, and the concept of space-time emerged. With the theory of relativity, time and space unite into an inseparable whole called the fabric of space-time. In this fabric, an object's position is defined not only by its place in space but also by its moment in time. In this context, time is a dimension that organizes events occurring in space. Everything within the space-time fabric is affected by it, and time progresses in a universal flow. Scientists trying to understand the nature of time have only been able to go back to the beginning of the universe, that is, to the Big Bang. The Big Bang, considered the beginning of time, suggests that time began with the universe's expansion. According to this theory, time existed as a part of the universe and continues with its expansion. However, this starting point of time brings with it big questions about what happened before time began. Scientific examinations of time continue in fields like quantum physics. Quantum physics tries to understand how time works at the subatomic particle level. The concept of time here is a much more complex and hard to understand structure that goes beyond the rules of classical physics. Therefore, the scientific dimension of time still contains many mysteries that need to be solved. Science not being able to go beyond this for now brings us to the intersection of a spiritual and metaphysical dimension. In my previous video, I talked about the physical and metaphysical dimensions of concepts like the brain, consciousness, and mind. The same applies to the concept of time. So this is the direction of my viewpoint. Time as a dimension of the material world created since the moment of the universe's creation is relative and temporary. On the other hand, it bears a spiritual and metaphysical meaning. In this context, time is actually just a reflection of God's eternal presence. And everything that has been, is, and will be exists in that moment. Time is not a linear line, but a cycle. Ancient civilizations describe time as a rotating, constantly repeating cycle. Time has neither a beginning nor an end. Everything continues its existence in constant transformation. It also expresses a person's spiritual journey. Time serves as a guide in the process of spiritual development. Every moment provides an opportunity for a step in one's spiritual evolution. From this perspective, the flow of time is also a flow within one's inner world. Every moment carries the traces of all preceding moments and is a door opening to the future. Time is a journey between creation and the end. Each moment in this journey is actually a moment of eternity. It contains the accumulation of the past and the potentials of the future. The real time we own is now, and it is an opportunity and a reflective space to approach the Creator, to remember, to connect. This spiritual dimension of time also helps a person make sense of death and what comes after. Beyond time, there is an infinite existence and a state of being one with the Creator. In this sense, time is a blessing given to us for our spiritual maturity process. Of course, everything changes depending on where we look from. Like other concepts I've mentioned in my previous videos, time is a concept that everyone from philosophers to artists, from scientists to thinkers, defines differently, but no one has yet reached a final conclusion. According to Ibn Arabi, time is composed of moments and is essentially a reflection. Every moment is a reflection of the manifestation of the Creator and is constantly being renewed. The continuous change and renewal in nature is an indicator of this. For example, a tree losing its leaves in the fall, remaining bare all winter, and budding again with the arrival of spring, showing the cycle of growth. There is a constantly repeating cycle. This process is a reflection of the Creator's manifestation present at every moment. The tree finds life again as a reflection of His creative power and divine will. It continues to exist with His manifestation at every moment. The falling and regrowing of each leaf shows that time is relative and temporary, but these processes are renewed at every moment with the Creator's will. Therefore, time is an illusion. What truly matters is realizing that every moment is a manifestation of God. All these processes only find meaning with the existence of a person who can realize and make sense of them. In this cycle, everything is constantly being renewed and existence is being recreated every moment. For this reason, actually only this moment exists, and this moment is the result of a manifestation constantly renewed by God's creative power. We breathe in and out every moment without even realizing it. Approximately 1 million of our cells renew themselves every second in our body. From a certain perspective, time is nothing but a series of moments, and every moment is a continuous reflection of creation. We could also say that time is a secular cycle. Nature, human life, all of existence consists of cycles. The cycle of seasons, the cycle of day and night, the cycle of our daily lives, starting from the tiniest form of existence through all cyclic processes in physics, chemistry, and biology, evolving to human form until our transformation in the womb, the change from a person's birth to death, and even the transition before reaching another state after death. Like the soul evolving through different levels of existence within a cycle, we can say that time is a repeating process in infinite continuity. Everything is constantly renewed and repeated. Ibn Arabi describes this process as cycle of existence. However, the truth is beyond time. It is the eternal and everlasting, the absolute existence not limited by time. In God's view, there are no time segments like past, present, and future. Time is a concept He created. It's a measure valid only for the created world. Thus, every moment, as a reflection of His creative will, carries a divine meaning. And in this sense, it can only be understood through the observation and perception of creation. Ibn Arabi's thought that each moment contains a divine secret and that these secrets are renewed every moment shows a conceptual similarity with the probability waves and particles in quantum physics, which can take on different states at any moment. In quantum physics, the state of a particle is not certain until the moment of observation, and therefore each moment is a reflection of probabilities. This suggests that each moment can have a different secret, which is continuously renewed. We can summarize it like this. While time is a transient and relative dimension of the physical world, meaning that it is a concept existing for this created realm and thus limited to it, the moment points to a metaphysical reality beyond time, an ultimate truth. Just like in my previous video where I mentioned the concepts of brain, mind, consciousness, and intellect having meanings beyond the material. The metaphysical counterparts of concepts within the physical dimension are explained through the relationship between the branches and roots of the tree of life. While the moment represents the absolute existence of God and creative will, time is the relative reflection of this absolute reality in the physical world. Therefore, the moment is the root of time in the metaphysical realm, and time is the manifestation of this root in the created world. The relativity of time and the eternity of the moment are addressed in various verses of the Quran. For example, in Surah Al-Hajj, verse 47, it says, "They urge you to hurry punishment, but Allah will never fail in His promise. Indeed, a day with your Lord is like 1,000 years of your counting." For instance, in Surat As-Sajda, verse 5, it says, "He regulates all affairs from the heavens to the earth, then they all go up to him in a day whose length is 1,000 years by your reckoning." In Surah Al-Ma'arij, verse 4, it states, "The angels and the Spirit ascend to him in a day whose measure is 50,000 years." In Surah An-Nazi'at, verse 46, they will see the day of resurrection as though they had only tarried for an evening or a morning. In conclusion, no matter how much the moment represents an infinite cycle, we live in a world limited by physical constraints, and we often waste our days and years, forgetting how precious time really is. Living with the awareness that there is a reality beyond time, that every moment is full of infinite potentials, and that worldly time is an important part of the spirit's infinite journey of evolution. Valuing each moment we are in by connecting with our essence and our creator will move us towards experiencing the truth beyond time. I hope you all get to experience it.